Hey and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the classic character early Z Goku. I think he's got a lot of potential and I just want to get stuck right in and to show off the potential for this amazing character. So as per usual, we're going to cover the character stats, skills, blast attacks, unique properties, ki blasts and smash ki blasts, rush combos, dash attacks, strengths and weaknesses, other characters who have a similar playstyle, and lastly my final thoughts. So let's get straight into it. So first of all, DP cost of only 4, which is pretty reasonable. Has 4 health bars, average defense time with many of the other Saiyans, and above average damage similar to Spopovich and Goku Black, which is pretty great. It starts with 2 ki bars, 0 starting skill points, and a maximum of 6, which is great. And takes 4 seconds to fully charge his ki. He has access to 2 follow-ups after a smash attack, and 4 in sparking mode. His perception is ki blast cannon, which is alright, especially good for cashing out into a blast attack or that kind of thing, and it has access to no transformations since he's just regular old Goku from very early Dragon Ball Z, hence the name. But having said that, we're going to go over his skills now. So he's got a pretty interesting set, which makes him quite unique even amongst the rest of the cast. So he's got Solar Flare, which costs 2 skill points and temporarily blinds the opponent for about 10 seconds or so. And because of this, it makes it quite easy to, say, do this at close range and then jump behind for a back turn combo, and basically they just have to pray that they can get like super counter or that kind of thing. And yeah, it's quite powerful. Also, it's if an opponent does like a blast attack like that, then you can drop this and just for some reason just dissipates. It just has some type of magical powers that we're not aware of, so it's pretty cool. And fun fact, if you want to get rid of this status effect and you're in a DP battle, all you gotta do is swap out and it just goes away straight away. Or alternatively, if you have sunglasses like say Master Roshi or some of the androids, are not affected by this, so it's pretty cool. A really interesting skill. Next we have his Kaioken, which costs 2 skill points and buffs his melee, ki blast and defense by 10% for about 15 seconds. Note that this used to cost 3, which in my humble opinion was a bit too expensive. With just only 2 skill points, it's incredibly easy just to use this and have it up very often. I wouldn't say all the time, but definitely more than, you know, it makes me feel quite comfortable to stay in that particular mode. So yeah, it's really great. I really like Kaioken, and the damage buff just really puts him a little bit above where I guess he theoretically could be. But speaking about being above, let's talk about some of his blast attacks, which are quite diverse. So first of all, you got his classic Kamehameha. So it's a beam type, it can be charged, and while you're charging it gives you armor, and this deals about 7,000 damage without charging it. When fully charged, does about 10.7, so decent bit of damage. I like to use this especially when an opponent say likes to rush in, or after particular options like say they whiffed an attack. It's reasonably fast to come out, so. But I'd say the real standout, especially for me in terms of like the fun factor, would definitely be his Blast 2, which also costs 3 ki bars and it's a rush attack. So it's not particularly fast, but you can guide it like this. Has a pretty interesting animation, and as you're about to see in a second, you can actually get follow-ups afterwards. So you just tap your heavy button, and you see there he vanishes, and hey presto, he just does that, and it's just some pretty nice damage. So without any follow-ups, I think it does about 8.3, and if you do get some buffs and things, you can do about 12.8 or potentially like 14-15k if all the follow-ups land. Again, you know, the challenge is going to be landing all the follow-ups, but you know, even if you just do that and, you know, one follow-up and, you know, dash behind, there's just so many options which you can have after that just off a standard rush attack, which is really cool. And again, you know, Kaioken not specifically buffed by this, but the fact that it buffs his melee damage means that the follow-up attacks will get buffed just a little bit, so it's pretty cool. I'm a big fan. And now we go into his sparking mode. Nothing particularly of note, but He does have this. He's got a good old Spirit Bomb, so it's a bit smaller than we're used to, but just gets the job done. So it's pretty slow now, especially after more recent adjustments, but it's unblockable and deals good damage. 15k is definitely nothing to sneeze at for an unblockable attack, especially on a character that, again, you know, is this cheap, just maximum value. So while he might not have anything particularly unique about him in sparking mode, he does have some other pretty cool things about him. So as I said before, so he has Solar Flare, and then, you know, only him, Goku, this Goku, Krillin, and Tien have access to this move. So he has that, and then, you know, King Kai taught him the Kaioken. So Goku he's always been a bit of a pretty good mimic. Like, he loves using other people's techniques. So it's a bit of a running gag, at least, you know, to me it is. So it's pretty cool. And speaking about gags, one thing to not talk about is his mid to long range options. So it's pretty standard stuff. Like, he's got the regular charge smash version and Q-Blast Barrage and all that. So nothing too unusual. But again, you know, because his charging is pretty fast, he doesn't really have to worry about suffering so much at mid to long range. So it's not a bad thing to have. But when you do want to go in and, you know, beat them up a little bit, this is what you're going to be wanting to do. So he has heavy finishes, you know, gets a little stagger there on the first follow up, Q-Blast Cannon on the second, high kicks on the third, and ends with heavy finish on the fourth. So pretty reasonable moveset. I always like how he finishes early, just because, you know, that way you can bait out potential super counters, or just, you know, say you're early in a combo and they want to go into like a perception or whatever, they'll have to spend a bar, and it's a little bit, I don't know, I find it's just, you know, it's a really good move. And also on his dash heavy, also has heavy finishes, so you want to dash in and hit them from mid to close range, you can do that, hold it, get the arm and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to show off a quick combo that he can do from back turn. It's 10k, but if you do the usual stuff, you do that and then you do the lift strike, and then just end with the regular ender, so just the auto combo with the rush combo. It does about 12k damage. So
and surpass an elite if he trains hard enough.
So let's just have a look. So again, said a couple of times now, so he's relatively cheap at only 4 DP, and it's the second cheapest Goku in cost. So cheapest being Team Goku, and type with Dimer has access to an unblockable X, the Spirit Bomb, and that's relatively easy to pick because of his fast charge speed. He has excellent access to damage again because of Kaioken, and just the fact that even without any buffs he actually hits quite hard, which is always fantastic, especially in such an aggressive game like this. But having said that, his weaknesses are definitely not something to not worry about. So for example, his skills are both incredibly situational, and while Kaioken is, you know, only 2 skill points now, it doesn't mean you can just spam it without any coolant. Defensively you have to really think a bit harder because he doesn't have access to, say, like a Wild Sense or After Image or anything like that. So he really has to, you need to have a strong offense to really make the most of this character. But, you know, at 4 DP that's not generally a huge deal, at least in my experience. So, and the only other thing I can think of is just, you know, especially at the 4 cross, he's just competed with so many strong characters for that same thing, you know, the Gohans and Trunks and just a multitude of other really strong characters he can transform, and he just lacks that. So that's why he does lose him some points, even though he never lacks for style, especially in this mode. But speaking of, one character I can recommend if you like a character similar to this is Tien. So he has access to Wild Sense unlike Goku, and also has Solar Flare, so I'd say he's a little bit more balanced. He doesn't have an unblockable attack, but his damage is also quite good. He charges Ki even faster, so his mid to long range is even more incredible. And he has access to cheap supers as well, or at least for his Dodon Ray, everyone's favourite. So having said all that, here are my final thoughts. Kaioken's always fun, and I'm just glad that this character feels so good in Spiking Zero. might sound a bit ridiculous, but just him having a cheaper Kaioken really increased my drive to play this character again, which is awesome. And yeah, other than that, like, it's just with so many strong characters in the 4 DP range, it does make it hard to suggest Ultimate Goku, but you know, he's a classic for a reason, so I recommend picking him up, especially in a DP battle and singles if you're a brave or a very offense heavy kind of player. So I'm hoping you all learned something from this and you enjoyed. I appreciate it if you give a like and a sub and follow, and hoping to make some more character guides in the future. Have a great day and be blessed, boy.